So I just wanted to give you guys a couple more little tidbits about the beefed axle. It's just about put together now. And that part I didn't really think was so critical that, you know, we had to see every bit of that, because if you've taken it apart, you can put it back together, alright? So I didn't need to go through that. But I did want to mention that the beef tubes go from about here to here, right in here. And now you've got all metal from one end to another, so these are basically indestructible in terms of snapping or flexing, and that's what can bend your axle. If this breaks and your axle is attached to your wheel coming on the way out, you could trash your axle in the process. And then at this point, this is a good time, now that it's all greased up, it's all completely socked down, all the screws are in, it's a good time to feel what it feels like. You can see how much play you feel like you have. No play at all in the gears by the feel of it. And you can run it a little bit if you want to with a cordless drill. And just feel it, you know? Feel it and look at it. And it feels pretty good to me. And now at this point, you've got a pretty beefy axle, because you've got metal from end to end. And then I'll just show you the final thing that I really think makes a huge difference on these axles is instead of using the little hexes like you see, let me show you real quick. Here's a typical, you know, axial hex. It's secured by a little short pin. Okay. These have a slightly bigger groove. A little bit. These are pretty beat up, by the way, just from all the trash that gets caught in them. And then I like to use these pens made by a guy on RCC Forum. You just Google it, and it'll come up as the first thing on the Google search, RC Crawler Forums. And these little pens are made from music wire by this guy, and he sells them really cheap, and they are so much better than the pens that you get, you know, with the axles, or that you buy to replace or whatever. And these OT axles from Locked Up RC are so tight that you almost have to, you know, find something beside your finger, obviously, to push those in with and get them about centered in there, because these boogers fit tight, and I love that. No slop, really tight fitting pen. Trying to get that about exactly right. Looks pretty close. And then what I do is I put the shift, these are shift hubs by Lattice Innovations, BC Bryan over on RCC Forums. You know, it's the place to go if you want this custom type stuff and you want to get this kind of knowledge. You pretty basically have to go to a forum. And now I've got a really awesome attachment here that's no hex at all. And it's ready to bolt right up to scale type wheels. Okay, wheels that have 6 holes, 6 bolts, and the shifts come with a variety of spacers. They come with thick ones and thin ones like this, and I'm using the 3 thick ones in the back to get a really big offset. And that's a pretty big offset, but I've had absolutely no issues with the screws coming out or any kind of problem at all. The only issues I ever have are with these crappy lock nuts. You gotta really replace these all the time, basically, because they wear out. You can't count on something like this lasting more than a few installations anyway. And then you don't have to do this, but I like to put a washer on just to spread the load onto the part, but you don't really even have to do that. And of course, most people have RC tools for doing this. I have a Craftsman tool. One of these days I might get one. Alright, and that's it. You don't want to go so tight that you bend the pen, obviously. And that's a shift hub for the gunner pen on the shaft. And now you don't have to worry so much about things coming apart, wearing out. You don't have to worry about slop, you don't have to worry about hexes wallowing out the inside of your wheel. So that's just a little tip there. And that's pretty much it for a beefed axle. That axle is about as durable as you can make with the parts that are available right now, unless you want to go to an all-metal housing by somebody like GCM or SSD or VP. Thanks for watching, guys.